From juice to salads, hummus to hair dye, fried to pickled, you just can't beat beets. The entire plant is edible, which makes it a versatile, heart-healthy, vitamin-rich food that adds color and flavor to your plate. Today, we're preparing chickpea turmeric flatbreads with roasted and pickled beets. I'm Chef Michael Williams, and that's what we're cooking on the coast. Welcome to the kitchen. I've always said, if you can't beat them, roast them, or something like that. In any case, beets do figure into our recipe today as we prepare some chickpea turmeric flatbreads with roasted and then pickled beets. This dish is in fact an, nutritionally epic vegetarian dish. I love it. There's so many fantastic components. The first thing we want to do is get our beets underway. I'm going to show you exactly how to make the most amazing beets. I've got some garlic and shallots here, which we're going to roast along with the beets. It's going to be delicious. Now, as always, we have some beautiful beet greens here. Never throw those away. Don't compost those. Use them. They're in fact healthier than the actual beet, and beets are all stars already. So save those greens and incorporate them into salads or into whatever dish you're using them for. So let's go ahead and cut the top and the bottom off of our beets. And we're gonna just drop those right onto this foil pouch here. Cut the top and the bottom off, and one more. So we got a little bit of compost here, but otherwise we're making use of all of this beautiful vegetable. I'm, excuse me, choking on a little bit of a vinegar solution over here, which we're gonna use to marinate the beets very soon. But first, let's see how we get them roasted. You may have noticed, or you may not have, that I had a knob of butter in that foil pouch already. We're gonna season, of course, with salt and pepper and just a touch of oil to help prevent that butter from burning. This is our beautiful foil pouch, which you could cook on the barbecue, you can cook in the oven, seal it up nice. All of those great flavors get concentrated together, and I'm gonna grab some that are done already out of the oven. So they're just warm in there. I don't have superhuman hands that can withstand 350-degree heats. And this is what they look like. Similar idea here, I just did these on the tray, and I wanna show you something awesome, crucial, epic right now. Peeling beets is a bit of a pain in the butt, but not when you do it like this. All we did was cut the tops and the bottoms off, and look at this. That skin just peels right off, right? So much easier. We'll just get a few of these done. The beets are in fact really hot still, and this is hurting my fingers, but I'm gonna push through it for you guys because I love you. Okay, so what we're looking for now is to cut these into kind of bite size. There you have it. Now, I've got a few roasted beets, which I'm gonna save for another use here. We're gonna take these on to the pickling stage though. So I'm gonna pick these up and drop them in my pickling liquid. Now these beets are probably about 90% cooked. They're just gonna finish cooking in here. There we go. So I've also got all of these beautiful onions and shallots, garlic and shallots here. I'm gonna get those into the mix as well. So they're gonna go right into our pickling pot with a couple of other fantastic ingredients. Now what we're doing here is just capitalizing on superfoods. Ginger, turmeric, garlic, shallots, beets. Like, this is becoming a fantastically healthy dish all on its own. So I'm gonna slice up this ginger really, really thin, or this turmeric, I should say. Turmeric and ginger are both roots. It's both super nutritious, both fantastic to bring into your daily or weekly routines. It's when you're cooking with foods like this, that's when you get these massive benefits that don't exist in a lot of pre-prepared foods. So that's a good whack of turmeric there. Let's get a little bit of ginger in there as well. And that's gonna go into the pot and pickle along with the beets. So this is now ready to hit the pot with our beets. And we're gonna get some mushrooms underway here. This is the next component of our recipe that we're building today. I've already got some shallots and garlic ready to go. I have a hot pan ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some oil into the pan and get those shallots and garlic started. So just dump these right in. Well, you know, as you can see, I've got copious amounts, a lot of shallots and garlic. Let's go ahead and chop up some mushrooms real quick. So you can use a mix. You can use white, brown, portobello, button. I've got some shiitakes here, oyster mushrooms. There's really no, rules when it comes to cooking mushrooms. They're very compatible, they're very interchangeable. So if we get a good whack, including some of this portobello here. Now, you don't always need to, but people often do scoop out the gills. It just does add for a little bit of a nicer kind of texture in the end. I like to cut them in half, usually if they're bigger, and then slice. We wanted to give our shallots and garlic just a bit of a head start, which we've done. We can now start getting our mushrooms in. Get things stirred around. We don't want to overload the pan. Mushrooms are a lot like meat in the sense that we don't want to shock all of the heat out of the pan. There's a lot of moisture in them, so we want to get a nice caramelization happening, some good colors, good browning. That's what we're after. If we add too much too soon and kind of heat the mushrooms up like I've seen a lot of people do, then we end up losing all that great heat. I forgot one ingredient in my beets. It's this beautiful local honey, which I'm gonna add in to really accent the sweetness of the beets. A few tablespoons of honey into there. There we have it. We're gonna be back later in the show to pull all this together, our chickpea turmeric flatbread with roasted and pickled beets. But before that, we're hitting the road. You don't wanna miss it.
Cookin' on the Road is brought to you by Cold Star Solutions, an integral part of Vancouver Island's grocery supply chain for 20 years.
That is a lot of coffee. I'm here at Level Ground Coffee. I'm about to meet one of the owners, Stacy.
Michael,
How's it
welcome
going?
here. Good to have you.
This is insane. How, like, what, 500 bags, 70 kilograms each?
Big sacks of green coffee. This specifically is Colombian, yeah.
Okay.
We have coffee coming in from 6 countries.
Yeah.
3 from South America, 3
Okay.
from East Africa, and a decaf as well from South America. So
Colombia, the most popular?
one of the most,
One
yeah.
of, yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they come in green, so what happens from there?
Yeah, these are big bags of seeds.
Yes.
The Colombian sacks
Okay.
are 70 kilo sacks of seeds.
Yeah.
So we get whole shipping containers that come through the Port of Vancouver. They
Yeah.
come over to the island on the night barge.
Okay.
And it's here at Level Ground on the peninsula that we put them into roasts and send them out to customers.
I can smell it.
Oh yeah.
It smells amazing
Yeah,
in here
yeah.
right now. It's incredible. From here, it's going into the roasting room, which I had a peek into earlier.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about it, because I want to grab some beans and make a cup right as we're done here. Would that be good?
Oh yeah. It would be good, but it would even get better if you waited a few days.
Okay.
Now we service all the stores on the island with basically next day service if we get an order.
Wow.
So a customer that's ordering coffee for like a grocery store, they're getting it really soon after we've roasted it, usually the next day.
Yeah.
And usually the best tasting coffee is about a week after it's come out of the roaster.
Okay,
So it's
so-
not
so-
same day fresh that's
Right,
best.
right.
It has to degas and lose some carbon dioxide.
Okay, that makes sense.
We've been
Cool.
scaling up our facility since we started 22 years ago. This
Yeah.
is our 4th facility since we got going.
22 years,
Yeah.
wow,
We started
okay.
in 97 and our little small batch roaster we used was the same as a 4-liter ice cream pail.
Yeah.
5 pounds of coffee in, and coffee shrinks when you roast it, so it'd be
Okay.
4 pounds of coffee out.
Yeah.
So now when we get to look in our roasting room, you'll see we have 3 different roasters, and rather than adding a bigger roaster as we grow, we've added more roasters, so we say small batch artisan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that makes sense. Keep
Yeah.
it the
Really-
quality
really high
control and
quality
whatnot.
small
Yeah.
batch, that's right.
Excellent. Okay.
So as a chef, for yourself, it must be great to see roasting coffee here, but most of all, I'd love to show you our tasting room. Let's go try some.
That sounds awesome. Let's
Okay.
do it.
Welcome to our tasting room, Michael.
Thank you. It is so beautiful in here. I had no idea. Got a new favorite coffee spot apparently.
Woohoo, we sure do.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joshua.
Thanks. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers. Oh wow, that's a delicious cappuccino.
That's nice, isn't it?
That's
Yeah.
so good.
That's
Love
made
it.
with our espresso blend, which is kind of on the lighter end of the spectrum. So that's a blend of coffees from a few different countries. And
Okay.
just like wine, coffee gets graded out of a 100-point score. So that's a 92-point plus coffee. The French, on the other hand, would be the darkest coffee that
That's
we
my
produce.
favorite right there.
That's your fave? Yeah.
So working here, what? How many cups do you drink a day?
I really can't tell you.
Thank you so much. That was fantastic. I learned so much about coffee. Great experience.
Thanks. Great having you, Michael.
Yeah. It's back into our kitchen as we're pulling together our chickpea turmeric flatbread with pickled and roasted beets and some other stuff too. So I want to show you a really cool cutting technique. I've shown you many times how to dice an onion. I want to show you how to fine dice an onion. It's the same process. I've got a half onion here, and I'm just going to multiply the levels that I cut into my onion. Instead of just, maybe doing 1 or 2 levels, I've done 6 or 7. Now, I'm gonna do a bunch of cuts this way and keep it really, we're gonna end up with like 15 cuts that way. And then with our final cut, we end up with a really nice, symmetrical, perfectly diced onion. So let's hit the pan with the onions, and we have also got some chopped jalapeno and garlic here, okay? So let's get some oil in the pan. We're working on our chickpea flatbread component right now. That's what's happening here. So small diced onions, jalapenos and garlic go into the pan. In our bowl here, we've got a couple of eggs and some coconut milk, okay? I'm gonna bring this up onto my board here. And then we've also got some chickpea flour. That's what makes the base of our chickpea flatbreads. So let's go ahead and whisk up the coconut milk and the eggs together. Make sure they're really well incorporated. In the meantime, let's also bring some heat onto our mushrooms. I want to show you how to finish those off really soon. Make them just absolutely epic. So back to our chickpea batter here. I've got the eggs and the coconut milk whisked together. This is a dairy-free, gluten-free flatbread, okay? In goes that chickpea flour, and we'll stir that up. I'm making a mess, but that's okay by me. This batter's looking maybe just a touch loose, so I'm gonna add a little bit more chickpea flour. We're looking for basically pancake batter consistency, okay? Let's give a stir on our veggies going in the pan here. Got some great color happening there already. This batter is coming together nicely. Now this is gonna go into here, along with some chickpeas. I'm gonna mash some of these chickpeas on the cutting board right now, probably about a cup's worth. And just use my trusty scraper, mash them up a little bit. And then that can go into our batter. It's gonna help add some texture and body. Just before I get these veggies in, I wanna add some turmeric. So I'm gonna grab my beautiful turmeric powder. I wanna get that toasting a little bit in the pan just before we add it to our batter. A little bit of toasting on the turmeric really brings out the flavor and kind of toasts and caramelizes and helps it sing. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and get this in to our batter and mix it together. Perfect. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of oil to this, just so I can release what's stuck there. And let's go ahead and stir our batter together. We're ready to start doling out pancakes. Actually, almost. I need to season this up with a little bit of salt and pepper as well. So of course, we don't have any salt in there yet. And pepper really helps unlock the nutritional benefits of turmeric. Super important kind of pairing to really get everything you can out of turmeric and all that it offers. Beautiful, vibrant color happening here. I've got some oil back in the pan we started with, making sure we're not burning too much, that things are looking good in there, and they are, so I can go ahead and start just freehand pouring like so. And now let's put our focus, while these cook away, on our mushrooms. So I just need to add a knob of butter, some rosemary. We'll let that do its thing for a sec, get that butter incorporated. We of course haven't seasoned this yet, so a little bit of salt and pepper in with our mushrooms. Good. These are doing their thing. These are doing their thing. The last thing to make these mushrooms just simply off the hook, balsamic vinegar. You finish them off with a little bit of balsamic vinegar, and just a little kiss of this really it brings them over the top. This is how, probably my favorite way to prepare mushrooms. It's pretty much my favorite. Oh yeah. We'll turn the heat off on that and just let it sit. We're almost there. So let's go ahead and give these a flip. I think they're pretty much ready for a flip. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that, right? It's time for my favorite part of the episode. It's time to start building that plate. So let's go ahead and lay these out. These guys, after about, 3 minutes aside, are ready to go. You want to make sure they're nicely caramelized on both sides, looking good. We've got enough for one plate here. I'm going to get another run going. So just add a bit more oil. Might as well make use of all of what we have here, of course. In the meantime, let's get this plate built, okay? So, we've started with our beautiful, wholesome chickpea fritters. Now, you remember those beets, yeah? Let's go ahead and grab a couple beets and plunk them right on top of our chickpea fritters, chickpea flatbreads. Call them what you want. They're beauty, though. And so are those beets. Remember all those flavors we incorporated into the beets, right? We've got our beautiful mushrooms, everything that we have offered in there, all kinds of fantastic complementary flavors, okay? And I've got some toasted cashews here, which I'm just gonna sprinkle on top. And the final piece that's gonna bring it all together, I've got some green onions and some sour cream, which I'm just gonna pulse together. Really, really simple. Sometimes you don't have to make it all completely from scratch. And just like that, we have a fantastic garnish to drizzle over top of our dish. Let's go ahead and drizzle that all around. Oh my goodness. And I've just got one more thing I want to add to this. I've got some beautiful local sprouts. These are red cabbage sprouts. Theme to this year's series is cabbage, is it not? I love my cabbage. There you have it, folks. How good does that look? Am I right? Chickpea turmeric flatbread with roasted and pickled beets. You can't beat that.
Pairings are brought to you by Liquor Plus. Discover the plus.
Now, every great meal deserves a great beverage pairing. To help us out with that is Karen from Mission Hill. Thank you for coming down to the kitchen.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I gave you a little bit of a heads up on what I was going to make for you today.
Yes.
Chickpea turmeric flatbread. We've got some roasted and pickled beets. Done up a nice array of kind of earthy, garlicky mushrooms and a little bit of a chive emulsion to finish it off. So what are your thoughts on pairing that up?
Well, I specifically picked the Mission Hill Reserve 2019 Pinot Gris.
Okay.
It's got some nice acidity to pair with the beets. It's got some texture and weight to go with the chickpeas, and I really think it's going to hold up. There's such a variety of flavors on this plate, and I think this is just going to pair beautifully.
Okay, well, I'm excited to try.
Yeah. This wine is so incredible. There's so much going on in the glass, and it's just, you want to go back for that second sip. But also, it's beautiful for any kind of food pairing. Well, I mean, for many food pairings.
Right.
And I think you're really going to enjoy this.
Ooh, that is nice. Very nice. I
you
like
get that
it.
stone fruit. You've got some ginger in there.
Yeah.
Some nice lemon peel.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I'm excited to see how this marries with this dish here.
Gorgeous.
You can find it in the maze there. So lots going on there. Definitely excited to have a taste of this again. Yep. Yep. Very good. This is awesome. So I'm going to keep enjoying this, but tell us a little bit more about Mission Hill. You guys have been in the game for a while, right?
We sure have. I've been with the company for 21 years.
Okay.
And there's a reason why I've stayed for so long. It's just the most incredible job and the most incredible winery to represent. What they've done up in the Okanagan, point of reference actually right now, is they're converting everything. We're going to be, as of 2020, we will be certified organic. And what that basically means, it's a huge venture, and it's such an exciting time. We really feel that in order to preserve and protect what we have in the Okanagan, we really need to preserve and protect the environment. And what's been such an incredible surprise, I guess, for lack of a better word, is just what's happening in the grapes, and therefore transitioning into the glass. The wines are just getting better and better. It's been a great road. It's been fantastic. Yeah, we're excited.
I mean, that much love going into the grapes, just like food, it pays off.
It really does. And it all starts in the vineyard. It's so important with the winery. The winemakers can make some changes or do what they can to maybe hide some flaws, but really is where it all starts, is in the vineyard.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Karen, thank you so much for coming down today.
Thanks for having me.
Check out our website where you'll find the lowdown on today's show. I'm Chef Mike, and don't forget, dinner's better when we eat it together. Cheers.
Cheers.